All right. Hello, Doc, alcoholic addict, amongst other things.
Hey, Doc.
And welcome to another fantastic edition of Sober School. Today, we're going to talk about how to fix Marcus and everybody else, not just him. We have done a lot of damage to our brains and the way they are wired with alcoholism and or addiction. So that's something we might want to fix, I would think, if we want to not use and or drink. There's an amazing she's a psychiatrist, and she does works in addiction by the name of Dr. Nicole Labor. Definitely recommend checking out her stuff. She's got a lot of short form content, and she is pretty amazing. Oh yeah, also put your phones on silent.
It is.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Everything's time when
All right.
old enough.
Nice. All right. What we've done, like addiction and alcoholism, basically rewires, among other things, it rewires the reward center in our brain. We've talked a lot previously about dopamine as being a reward chemical, which is we are, as a species, we're very goal driven, and we need to accomplish things. We need to accomplish tasks. And when we accomplish worthwhile tasks, our brain gives us dopamine. But when we discover that we can reroute all the work aspect and just get the reward, it starts to create very unhealthy pathways in our brain. And not only when we're fully in addiction, there's like you were talking about glutamate, and that whole your like need to your get the craving, the urge, like it has to do with glutamate transmission. That sense of dis-ease you feel from your disease has almost everything to do with glutamate. But let me get this specifics: your reward circuitry and the mesolimbic pathway, the ventral tegmental area, the nucleus accumbens. But drugs or alcohol flood the brain with dopamine and among other neurotransmitters. And what it does, and that's beyond what we can do naturally. It is that is part of why it damages our brain, because it supplies us with these neurotransmitters at a level that are not sustainable. We literally burn out our these receptor sites because they can only fire so many times in a given increment. So by making them fire constantly without the prerequisite work and time interval in between it, you burn out your receptor sites, which diminishes your ability to meet that requirement. So it takes more and more and more. But what it does is it rewires your brain to treat alcohol and drugs with survival level priority. You feel like that's why you feel like you're gonna die if you don't get something, because that's how you've rewired your brain. And what recovery means is rewiring our brains, not just stopping. Recovery is not just about going without. You have to go within. And from a neurological standpoint and from a philosophical standpoint and introspective standpoint, you need to look inside yourself and change some things inside yourself if you want to truly recover. I personally was clean and sober for 10 years. And I had all the things, and I had a nice salary job, and I had a house, and money, and I worked a lot. but I was also fucking miserable. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm doing all the things. And granted, I did have some legal assistance as far as why I was clean for that duration of time, at least part of it. But like, I still had a me problem that I hadn't dealt with. That way, even taking the drugs and alcohol out of the equation, I was still scared. I was still miserable. I still felt alone. In an early recovery, we struggle a lot with this dopamine deficit. We're used to having these high levels of dopamine, high levels of the feels, and feeling good right when we want to feel good. So when we stop drinking or we stop using, that's great. We don't, cause we're not killing ourselves actively, you know, and that is wonderful. But now we've become accustomed. We've become accustomed to these high levels of dopamine, these other neurotransmitters. So in early sobriety, the brain almost invariably produces less dopamine. That's why we run into things like boredom. You know, like when you're in it, when you're out running around or you're out hitting the bars or in the thick of it, you always got something to do. It typically revolves around finding the next bag or bottle, but you got stuff to do. You're not bored. Like, you're definitely motivated. You got goals. You know, I'm gonna fucking get a bag. I'm gonna fucking get a fucking 30 rack, fucking bottle of vodka, something. But we've got goals and we've got something to do. We're typically not bored when we're getting fucked up because that is our goal. But you got to think of it like it's a big part of our lives. It's something like we're pro status at that shit. Like we were not like some amateur league alcoholics and addicts. We were pro status. You know, but think about like there's plenty of historically like pro athletes, and like they'll get injured and they can't do what they've like spent their whole life. This is what I'm doing. This is what I know my purpose, to put the ball in the hoop or whatever, hit the ball with the stick, whatever sport metaphor you want to use. And that's what their life was about, and they thought they knew their place in it, and they enjoyed it, and they were rewarded by it, and then you take that away, they got real bored and felt real empty. We were pro-level fuck-ups. I know I personally was. I don't want to make assumptions about any of you, but based on our current geographical location, one could make the case. Lack of motivation, you know, like just fuck, man. Don't want to get out of bed, much less fucking come to morning meditation, much less morning meditation, then go to a meeting, and then 2 meetings a day because you're initially here, and then you got to find a job. Man, I got to go walk or find a ride, and it's hard to find motivation. So thank God for caffeine. There's a great song. It's Coffee God, about recovery. It's called Coffee, God, and Cigarettes. Well, because what?
What's the coffee god?
Coffee
Oh,
God.
yes. Coffee and author god. Got there.
Yeah, nice. But and initially in early recovery, hey, like that's caffeine definitely helps with a little bit of motivation. You know, nicotine, like from vapes, lozenges, pouches, cigarettes. It's a dopamine on demand delivery system. And initially, like I'm not saying anyone should smoke, but I totally think it is understandable, especially in initial recovery, to be resembling a chimney. Because we're used to these high levels of dopamine, and that's a dopamine on demand delivery system that we're allowed to have, so we're going to be hitting that vape. 100%. And you just kind of when you first get in here, especially first 30 days, first month and a half, first 2 months, there's like this emotional flatness. You're still we're kind of numb to it because our brain is freaking the fuck out. Because we had this system we developed. We knew where we stood. If I do this, I get this feel. We knew where we stood. When you take it away, we spent years building up these neural pathways. And when we cut that off, our brain is not super happy with it. Like Dr. Labor talks a lot about, like there's 4 stages of recovery, which is survive, strive, arrive, and thrive. And initially, when we first get clean, it's all about survival. Like we need to figure out like what the hell we're gonna do, like how everything's arranged, because like our world is kind of turned on its end, and we're so used to that emotional roller coaster of the highs and the lows, because it's not just the highs. Our brains are sensitive to change. They're sensitive to difference. It's not just about how good we feel. It's about how good we feel comparatively with how bad we felt when we didn't have it. So that's a lot bigger number. So let's say your baseline, and then you get high or you get drunk and it takes you to 10. Your brain doesn't perceive it as a 10 because you were at a -7 before. So your brain perceives the difference, which that's why it's such a profound effect. Those ups and downs. That's why, like codependent relationships. You realize codependent relationships release the same chemicals in your brain as cocaine use because of those ups and downs. The reason compulsive gamblers are compulsive gamblers is not just because of how good it feels when they win. It's actually has a lot more to do with how bad they feel when they lose compared to how it feels like. So, man, you just lost like 8 hands in a row. But man, when you win when it turns around, you win that one hand and you feel super good. That's why people get addicted to gambling. It's because of that roller coaster. It's because of that difference. So we got to figure out a new way, and we got to keep doing it, and we got to keep doing it consistently, because we literally spent years creating these unhealthy neural pathways. So it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of consistency to create some alternative pathways. And just because we start creating healthy ones, that doesn't take the old ones away. It's you will hear me say this phrase probably more than any other catchphrase I say, and that is, neurons that fire together wire together. Your brain is a dynamic system, so when you make a connection, if you keep making that same connection, your brain goes, okay, you're making that connection a lot. Let's create some additional, let's widen the road. Let's make the path a little bit wider so that it's easier to make that connection. And that takes time, especially compared to how effectively drugs and alcohol can create those pathways. So it is definitely an incremental change, especially at first, but it does compound. Because it's not only doing the next right thing and living right and working this program doesn't just reward, it reinforces. It compounds just like interest. But repeating healthy behaviors, any healthy behaviors, like it like start small, man. Like when you're going to the gym, if you want to, like, before you do big things, just do things. Okay, man, push your chair in when you get up. Like, you're using the toilet on the left, put the seat down. You know, because that's the one, like, Get water on the counter, wipe it up. You know, don't steal the pen from the sign out station. Just little things. If you're trying to flick your cigarette butt into the fire pit outside and you miss it, pick it up. Put it in there. Just these little things, especially initially. Like, again, like at the gym, if you want to make heavy feel light, you do light till it feels heavy. Just like start off with low weight, high reps. Get the stabilizer muscles, get your form together before you try doing big things. But things like meetings, exercise is a big one. Prayer, journaling, connection literally strengthens these new circuits that make recovery behaviors easier over time. But we're always going to run into triggers, like you're kind of like how you're talking about this morning. Like especially those of us who are alcoholics, availability. Like I just wanted to get some gas, and I'm looking at an end cap with reasonably priced tall boys. I'm like, I got $1.30 and a history of making bad decisions. Like it's perfect. It's a perfect match. But it's not just that. There's little things. You know, playmates, playgrounds, playthings. That's why you hear the whole people, places, things a lot in the rooms, because we need to avoid these triggers as much as is possible, because it's not possible to avoid them altogether. So like because shit is going to come up. We're going to run into these triggers regardless, no matter how, like if we go live on an island somewhere, but we might find some rotten fruit and shit could still go south. We can't guarantee we can avoid these triggers. So from our side of things, we need to make sure we're not actively seeking them out or allowing ourselves proximity as much as is possible, especially in early recovery. Because triggers typically come from the amygdala, the whole fight or flight response, a fight, flight, fawn, or freeze. And apparently, like, I did a little bit more research after that one class I did, and fight, flight, kick ass, kick rocks, that's pretty simple. Freeze, pretty self-explanatory. Fawn, sometimes it's when you're in that fear state, you might like get super sweet, like kind of kowtow a little bit, because you're scared. Like when you ever like somebody's being pissed off and somebody talks real nice to them, but it's because no, honey, no, put down the chainsaw. That type shit would be fall into the fawn category. But environmental cues, bars, people, certain emotions activate the amygdala, because it's literally a lot of it is fear and a stress response. Because like things like self-sabotage, because I have a big problem with that historically. A lot of my identity is damage control and fixing stuff. So when nothing is broken, I historically freak the fuck out. And the whole self-sabotage instinct is our brain is trying to protect us. It's a survival trait. Our brain is trying to protect us from something it thinks we can't handle. Oh, like these emotions. Like I'm uneasy. I don't know. I'm unsure about things. Our brain is trying to protect us. So it's very important for us to be mindful and to analyze, to process what is actually going on. Why am I feeling this way? And the more we can process shit, the better we get at it. Because there's like, in regards to addiction and recovery, there's a lot of areas in the brain Big three, amygdala, like we were just talking about, which is one of the oldest. It's a vestigial structure in our brain. It goes back to a common ancestor we have with reptiles. It's been around for a minute, and is located directly next to our brainstem. That's why fear can definitely rule our lives. It has, from a proximity standpoint, it has better access to your body and what you're doing than you do. You reside
Go ahead.
in
sorry.
the U part of using the prefrontal cortex. That's in the front of the brain. About as you literally can't get much further away from your actual brainstem than where you reside. And then in between the prefrontal cortex, roughly, is the basal ganglia, which is like the woohoo, like the feels, dopamine release, serotonin is kind of in between. So really we're kind of outnumbered. And the more we process things with our prefrontal cortex, the more we can take those other two areas of the brain out of the equation. You got a question?
Yeah, so something I learned for myself was that, like, probation or, like, I don't know, just programs as in, the government as in general, like, they tend to want to cause your cortisone level go up. And that's what I've learned for myself is that it makes that go up, and then what I have trouble making correct decisions. And so it's kind of like what you're kind of talking about. In a way, that's kind of what I'm getting. And maybe I'm wrong. At the same time, I've kind of figured, and that was something I just recently learned was like, and even through like coming here to NA and AA, that like I've got to get that stuff down, because in order for me to start making right decisions, that's the only way I'm going to be able to keep that from happening. So whenever I've got that stuff going on, it just is like, it's just a complete trigger effect for me. It makes me want to go out and use and that type of stuff.
Because it's overwhelming. Cortisol is a stress hormone in our brain. It is incredibly unhealthy. I might even do a whole class just on cortisol and the other stress hormones, because it's not just unhealthy by making you your hyperamygdalic, making that fight or flight response, that disease, that glutamate transmission problematic. It's physiologically unhealthy. Heightened levels of cortisol in early childhood. They haven't done a lot of studies in adults, but they did this big statistical study of ACEs, or adverse childhood experiences, that raise cortisol in relationship to statistical occurrences of things like, all right, so if you got an ACE score of 7 or above, which probably almost everybody in this room has, heightened risk for diabetes, heart disease, cancer, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, a whole myriad. And this is not correlation, doesn't imply causation. This isn't like this means this. It's not like that. But statistically, there's a lot of evidence that is super, super unhealthy for us. Even going beyond the fact that it makes us more likely to try and go an alternate route to handle with that disease we're feeling. I definitely know I did just being like house arrest for I've done a 5-year stretch on house arrest.
Or before you go to court and stuff like that. Like that's why they allow you out on court before, and they don't give you no time. You're sitting there waiting, and then you turn around and you make a bad decision because you've already decided you're going to go out and go use or go do something else. You've already picked up another charge.
Yeah.
Because you can't think straight.
Yeah. But it definitely upregulates adrenaline, and we're super agitated. Affects glutamate transmission. So we just feel like we want to, in our brain, the lizard and primate portion of our brain is like, okay, this is This is it. We're in the danger zone. We need to do something about it from a defensive standpoint. Like our brain wants to save us from this feeling because this is not a good feeling. So we go look for a alternate route, something historically. So trying new things that don't feel right, when that makes us feel this some sort of way, like raises our cortisol, we get stressed out because man, I got to go to all these meetings, I got to find a job, and I got to do all this stuff, and I'm freaking out. I need to find a sponsor, and I'm trying to get my life together. So we don't, we're freaking out trying this new thing. So our brain is okay. Let's go to look at what's worked in the past for helping us deal with these things, which is drugs and alcohol. That's why stress and cortisol, among other things, can lead us to going back. Like addiction weakens the prefrontal cortex. Like the you part of you, being in charge, you being in the driver's seat, when you're being ruled by fear, which is has a lot to do with doing our inventory and breaking that shit down. You are not in the driver's seat when you're just trying to abate the feeling of dis-ease and stressful urging, the anxious feeling overwhelmed and just not quite right. There's just something wrong, something's missing. You are not in the driver's seat. And like decision making, impulse control, long-term planning, we will make little quick decisions that fuck everything up for an extended period of time. But it's because of these unhealthy systems we've created in our brains. Practices like meditation, prayer, reflection, honest self-examination, like in our step 4, strengthen this region of the brain, puts you back in the driver's seat where you need to be if you want to get to where you want to go. And stress hormones absolutely can reignite cravings. And like chronic stress elevates cortisol, which can push the brain back towards old coping patterns, learning healthier stress regulation, like breathing exercises, meditation. Like that's why for me, exercise has been super crucial, man. Like I'm stressed the fuck out. I go lift weights about it. I do like I pick the exercise I hate the most. I'm like, fuck, I'm freaking the fuck out. I'm gonna go do some pull-ups. I'm gonna do pull-ups till I can't pull up no more. And I'm gonna do abs because I hate those too. But when I'm done, I'm definitely not stressing. Like the physical fitness aspect of it is great, but that's just a side effect. I don't go to the gym for this. I go to the gym for this and this. Because man, like when I'm doing a set, the only thing I'm thinking about is counting the set. I'm not thinking about probation. I'm not thinking about house arrest. I'm not thinking about bills. I'm not thinking about the fight I had with my girlfriend. I'm not thinking about what I'm going to do. I'm thinking about 1, 2, 3. Like that's it. Yeah, absolutely. And that's super crucial. And just how, because we need to find a healthy way to stabilize our brain chemistry. We need to find healthy ways to handle this, and we need to stick with it. Because it's super easy to go, oh man, what historically has helped with this? And because we're being ruled by stress, making those the split-second decisions that can affect years of our lives. But just how caffeine was really helpful in our early recovery, energy drinks, get a Monster, something like that, get you going when you're initially coming out of it. But you know what else caffeine does? Fucking jack cortisol through the roof. Yep. So what helped initially, it's kind of like training wheels, you know. Like it does help at first, but now we need to move away from that, or at least limit it. Don't get me wrong, I'll still drink coffee in the morning. I'll still having a little bit of an energy drink throughout the day. But I stop getting cans and I get the big tall boy, but it's got a lid. So I can give myself a little pick me up. Yeah.
There's this concept, I feel like I've said this in this group before. And like the concept of like when people get sober, they're like, just don't do anything that makes your brain feel like it's okay to feel good. It's okay to do things that like give you that dopamine boost, or like drink a bunch of fucking cups of coffee. Fuck it, dude. Like, or like go buy shit or whatever. Like, I always hate that concept of like, well, now you can't do anything that you enjoy doing because you're sober now. So it's like, let's take away the alcohol, something that made you feel good, and instead of like replacing it with maybe like little things that feel good, like sex and whatever, like sex, coffee, fucking buying shit, smoking cigarettes. Like, it's like, oh, like all that shit's unhealthy for you now. Like, well, I just fucking drank a fifth a fucking day for 5 years straight, and it's like, well, I'm not just gonna fucking go down to not doing anything at all.
What? Whoever fucking told you that?
That's just like a weird concept.
Well, that whoever, if anybody told you that, I think they're kind of a piece of shit.
Well, it's like,
and also wrong.
You're supposed to be a year sober before you start fucking with people.
Well, no, that not serious relationships. Yes.
Ooh.
There's no rule about it. As long as you are clear and honest with, okay, hey, that can actually get the job done sometimes. Like you're on a date night, hey man, I think you're really cool, but I'm practicing a program of rigorous honesty. I feel I should be upfront with you. Well, I think you're hotter than a crack pipe on payday. Yes.
I had a sponsor, he used to tell everybody, first year you can have all the sex you want, but after the year, then you can have it with somebody else.
I'm a firm believer in going number 3. All right, if you're thinking about going out and doing something, like, oh, man, I want to go holler at this chick. I'm going to go to a meeting. I'm going to go holler at this chick. A little crude. Hit a lick. Go number 3 first.
Yeah,
hit a lick. And if you still think it's a good idea, I'll give you a ride. Honestly.
What about number 4?
No, we'll talk about it in a different class. But we need this connection. We do. Like our bodies, we are communal creatures. We need a tribe. We need connection. For like oxytocin, the opposite of addiction is connection. That's why addiction made us feel so isolated. Ultimately, okay, we're hanging out with all these people and doing all this shit, but inside we feel alone.
To get the oxytocin, is okay if me and Corey take our shirts off and get some skin to skin?
All right, 100%. Let me turn the camera around. But no, man, it's hard to argue with results. No, different strokes, whatever floats your boat. But
So we're trying all
yeah, oh yeah.
of them.
But yeah, whoever made you think that, okay, we do need to be mindful, because I know plenty of people. You ever heard the term "put down the bottle, pick up the fork"?
Yeah.
Because that's a big thing. Like a lot of people, they get clean and then they start packing on a little weight because we're still looking for.
Some sober weight's okay.
100%. Most of us were probably underweight to borderline unhealthy, or what weight we did have, the BMI was not in the healthy range. But I don't know, if you look down there at that table downstairs, there's a lot of sweets. And from a dopamine delivery standpoint, there's if you're going the caloric route, there's nothing better, because historically, we developed evolutionarily, you didn't find a lot of sugar on the savannah, and it was a great fuel for you getting stuff done. And people who felt rewarded when they got a sugar rush and could get stuff done. That was reinforced evolutionarily because those people who were motivated to find stuff like that, which helped them get more stuff done.
Those were coca leaves.
Yeah, well, that's sometimes. I'm not sure about the glycemic index load of coca leaves, but just berries. When you're motivated from a neurochemical standpoint to find foods that are, because a glucose, or fructose more accurately, C6H12O6 is a great, readily available chemical fuel for the production of ATP and getting shit done. So we've got like a sugar rush or large meals, fatty foods. All that stuff reinforces and releases dopamine because historically, okay, you deserved a dopamine rush. You took down the mammoth, had a big mammoth steak, got a good full belly. All right, here's some dopamine. Oh, you found some berries or a beehive. It was unattended. Okay, here's some dopamine. And that's crucial. We definitely need, and initially in early recovery, we need to find all the little rewarding things we can. But that being said, we need to be mindful of how easily, because we still have that wiring in our brain. We're still wired for to be dopophiles, because it's really plenty of people. Okay, they stop drinking or using drugs, now they're addicted to scratch off lottery tickets for the dopamine release, or they develop an eating disorder, or a sex addiction, or become addicted to porn, or buying stupid shit on Temu, or what? Or Amazon that buy it. I did not since the beginning of class. But there's a reason for that. Like it feels good, so we need to be mindful of relying too much on any one of those dopamine on-demand delivery systems.
Rely on all of them.
Yeah, diversify. Specialization breeds weakness. Like, okay, and especially initially, use it. Use anything but using. Use anything but drinking initially. But there are ones that are far superior, like service work, like doing the next right thing, like actually working this program, because really, we're just trading one addiction for another. But if you work this program, you're trading being addicted to drugs or alcohol to now I'm hooked on doing the next right thing. And it's the thing about it is the payoff isn't immediate. That's why nobody, oh man, it fucking sucks. I gotta fucking, sure, I'm gonna do the next right thing, and I know I'm supposed to, but it doesn't make me feel good right now. So it's not as appealing based on our previous wiring we have installed in our brain over these past many years. But the benefit for that is far superior and lasts a lot longer. Man, I could do like, you know how many times when I'm working, man, this is gonna suck. I do not want to, like, fixing this right is gonna take a long time and it's gonna be painful. It's gonna be a pain in the ass. I'm gonna have to run to Menards like 3 fucking times. It's gonna be, but so my instinct, my previous fuckingly installed those old pathways that are still there. It's like, say, fuck it, man, just fucking. Just put a little caulk on it. Like, it'll be fine. I'll just fucking put that drywall back up. That'd be SCP, somebody else's problem.
Can't see it from your house.
Yeah, exactly. But the way I've been living my life, I go home and I think about that shit. I'll be laying in bed at night. I'm like, man, I didn't fix that as good as I could have. Sure, I got it to work once or twice, but I know it's just going to break again. And I'll put in a new work order. and go fix it right, because that's what I need. It's detrimental to my chill. My peace is not there if I'm not doing the next right thing. Like I do that moral inventory. I step 10 that shit at night when I lay down. I do it again in the morning when I get all my shit in my pockets. I set it all out on the table, and as I'm doing my physical inventory, I'm doing my moral inventory. And I do that when I take my shit out of my pockets at the end of the night. Because it seemed like a good time to do it. I'm checking what I got going on. I think, man, did I do everything right today? Or to the best of my ability? And it doesn't pay off immediately. But things that fucking that that instant gratification is what fucking got us here. Went out to do that job in Rossville last night after anger management, and it turned into more of a pain in the butt. Like I could have just the overflow on the bathtub was leaking and it was dripping down and making some spots in the ceiling in the kitchen. I'm like, okay, I had silicone caulk on me. I could just put a bead around there. But I got a kit that had the new big foam gasket, but it's brass plumbing, which is really brittle, and it's not as flexible as PVC or plastic, and it's a pain in the ass. And I gotta like go into a small hole in the floor of a closet, and then reach in there with my channel locks and a lot more but I could have totally made money and just killed some time, did a little bead of caulk around there, put it on there. Nobody would have really known. I would have known though. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna do this right. We have the ability. I have the ability. Sometimes you can't do it as right as you'd like, but if I got the ability to fix something right, I'm gonna fix it right. And then I get done, and the customer's like, because I didn't give him a price, he's like, well, here's $150. Is this enough? And I'm like, for an hour's work? And like, no, actually it's not. It's too much. And I did it for like $100. I try and pay myself like $75 an hour if I'm doing a job per me, covering with $25 for materials. And sure, like I would like in the past, $150 for an hour. Yeah, I suppose I'll allow it. You know.
No, 200 sounds better.
Yeah. Can you do 175? No, like that's how I used to live my life. But the way I'm living my life now, it's unacceptable. And it's for a friend of I work with. It's her parents, and they even called because they felt like they called her. They're like, make sure, just do it tactfully, but make sure, did we pay him enough? I'm like, yeah. Like I'm about doing the next right thing, and playing the long game, you know. And they've got more work that I can help out with. So like I'm not worried about making
They've got groceries over there.
a bunch of money right now.
Oh no, that's for here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
Oh my God, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. For Amy?
Yeah. All right, but it made me feel really good. It really did, because like these are good people, and like I would want to be treated fairly, so I treated them fairly, and man, I slept like a baby last night. And sure, I don't dislike money.
You got it all in?
But what I like more than money, what I like more than that instant gratification, is doing the next right thing. Because I'm fucking hooked on that shit.
Is there more air?
Um,
Making boats down there, looks like. Good man.
and I felt
Service hours.
I felt rewarded by it. Like we do need dopamine. We need dopamine. We literally need dopamine. Our motor neurons run on dopamine. That's why you feel like when you don't have it, can't fucking move, can't do shit. Because you literally, on a certain level, you can't do shit without dopamine. You can't like, fuck, I can't even get up. No, you can't. Like, because we've created these systems in our brain that are not a sustainable business model. We've reduced the amount of receptor sites in our brain, at the same time down-regulating the chemical itself. Because when we find an exterior source for these neurotransmitters, our brains, okay, we got that covered. we're going to produce less. So then we take that exterior source away. That's why our brain's fucking freaking the fuck out. Because we need that shit. Quite literally. But these small things. Does anybody go to anybody go to Brown Street meetings? You see the guy? I'm not gonna name names, but you see the guys with the Rubik's cubes.
Yeah.
All right. There's a reason for that. They'll sit there and at a meeting. They'll be listening and sharing and involved in the meeting. But they'll be working on a Rubik's cube. And like, what's a fucking toy? But do you realize every time? Oh man, I got 3 in a row. Every time you get a color match, there's a small spike in dopamine in your brain. Then you get a whole fucking side. There's a bigger spike of dopamine in your brain. When you fucking complete the Rubik's cube, there's an even bigger spike in the brain. Doing fucking coloring books, fucking puzzles, playing like games on your phone that are not like Candy Crush a little bit maybe, but that's more of a Skinner box manipulation. Just trying to fucking, it's a slot machine. Fucking get a membership to Brilliant. It's got games where you can learn some shit. Fucking Khan Academy. Which you can find dopamine sources that don't pay off as quickly or to the amplitude a fucking plate of cupcakes does. Granted. Don't judge me. I was hungry. Let's get lunch. But it's more sustainable and it compounds. If you can rewire your brain to get these little dopamine spikes at first. Man, holding the door for somebody. Man, I've thought a lot about. You ever go to a meeting and you see somebody you see at a meeting, but you don't talk. You don't know who they are, but you see them at the meeting a lot. You get the nod, like, "Sup?" You get acknowledged. Like, I see you there. I see it at the gym. There's a couple people at the gym I see. Never talked to them a day in my life, but when we see each other, get the nod. And I tried to do research to figure out how much calories it takes to do that.
The nod?
Yeah. Roughly about half of a grain of rice, calorically speaking, to do this. And the difference that can make just making somebody feel seen. You ever give somebody a nod in the car? Like, hey, fucking, or like at the grocery store. I see you getting the fucking healthy shit. And I see you in the produce aisle. Yeah, I see you there. The benefit that has for them and you is immense. And you could change their whole day. They were doing the next right thing. Oh, I saw you pick up that trash. Or fucking, oh, you missed with your cigarette butt and you went and pick it up? Fuck yeah. Just a nod. Just that little nod. What it does for you and what it can do for them for such a minuscule caloric expenditure is insane. Like, the brain relearns reward through achievable goals. You need to come up with goals you can do. Okay, fucking match your socks up. It's huge. Okay, that you get a dopamine spike right there. And then when you go to open the drawer for the first time to get socks and all your socks are matched up, you're like, fuck yeah.
Does anybody here have mismatched socks?
I didn't. Well, I mean, today though, granted, I opened the drawer right, and I just normally throw them in there. So I grabbed 2 different colored socks. I was like, oh fuck it, you know what? I'll take one more second to find the same colored sock as this one.
Yeah,
Black and white socks.
It feels good to have the same.
it does. It's not a huge thing. It's really not.
So you find one that has a toe burn out on it.
Yeah. Or let's see if I can find one that says Wrangler on the toe, but doesn't have a hole in the heel. And you find that's a little dopamine spike. And it's worthwhile. And it's small, but that shit compounds. Like finishing a chapter in the big book. Like finishing a step. There's all these little things. Just going to the gym, just showing up to the gym and doing something. Yeah.
I was wanting to mention before those groceries came that talking about doing the next right thing, like we talked this morning, like when I first got in recovery, I'm like, it's like you said, I was like, man, this for birds, ain't nothing, you know. But once you keep practicing it for months, you're gonna start seeing the little things. Like you said, going to the gym. You go to the gym first week, you look in the mirror, you're like, this ain't
You
doing
don't
shit.
see anything,
But eventually you gotta work at it.
When
and
you
make
start-
it a habit, and once it becomes a habit forming, then you
it
start
takes
seeing these
time.
little
But man,
things.
yeah, if you stick with it, even the small things, you will see results.
Yeah. See,
And it comes-
paper towel on the floor. You
Yeah,
just,
but just like going to the gym, it doesn't matter how much you lift, and it doesn't matter how many times you lift it. What matters is you do it until it hurts, and then you do a couple more. You go past what is comfortable, because growth doesn't reside in comfort. Like what has been comfortable for us for a good portion of our lives has not been beneficial to us. Like we might, if what you're doing isn't working, what you haven't been doing is probably what you need to be doing. But finding these small wins and recognizing them, in as many as you can, different ways, like as many different ways. We want to, like, that's why I cover such a wide variety of topics in sober school. Because I don't want to, I just stand up here and just spout the big book at you. And that's cool. And that is, I do cover that. I could just Bible verses. I do cover that. Just talk neurochemistry. I do cover that. We just talk evolution. I do cover that. I want to hit it. I want you guys to see it. I want to stack the deck in your guys' favor. And I want to connect with as many of you as I can, as much as I can. So just like we were talking before about specialization breeds weakness, I'm not going to try any one way. I'm going to try any way I can think of to get this across to you guys. Because that's why, to stack the deck in the favor of getting this across. Because this shit is life and death. Like, and sure, man, I know people who just by going to church and just through God have done it. I know people who are spiritual and do believe in a higher power, but they just do this, just do the 12 steps, and they have gotten clean. But I don't want to take chances. Like, well, one should be all right. One way should be all right, so I'm just going to do that. Fuck that. I want to try every way possible, every way I can think of, every positive thing. Every weekend I watch educational program. 2-3 times a week I go to the gym. I do not want to get up in the morning and come down here for morning meditation most mornings. But it's important for me. Because when I do say something that actually connects with somebody in here, and not just harassing Marcus, mostly harassing Marcus, but when I do say something that I hear later that, like, man, that meant something, that resonated for me. What that does for, and it's great, what it does for me personally is, I can't begin to describe. I got a message from one of my dudes who took my anger management class, and he sent a video of him. He was watching one of my sober school videos. He's been out of this for like 6 months, and he still watches my videos now on occasion. Got people at work, and I watched this the other day, and that resonated. It's exactly what I needed to hear, and oh my gosh, what that does for me. And it's not an ego thing. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck who watches these videos. All I care about is helping people not have to make the same mistakes I have. And neuroplasticity, the way our brains work, we're a dynamic system. Like this, how you are right now is guaranteed not going to be the way you're going to stay. As Heraclitus said, the only constant is change. So if you're not actively getting better, you're actively getting worse, and I want you guys to get better. And if you don't notice it at first, then notice I go to the gym. Oh man, this just sucks and I hurt. But like, okay, I'm gonna stick with it. And that first time you catch yourself you catch your reflection in the window of a store, and you're like, oh, is that all me? Oh my God, what that does for you. The first time when you share in a meeting and somebody pulls you aside after the meeting and you're just like, man, I should share. And I'm just going to talk about what I'm going through. Like, and they're like, man, I'm going through that exact same thing. And that's exactly what I needed to hear. What that does for you is immense. Dopamine, serotonin, like all the feels. And it doesn't cost you much from a caloric expenditure standpoint. But it does compound. And it does make a huge difference in the long run, just doing these small things that could only cost you about half the caloric content of a grain of rice. But that's all I got.
Thank you, Doc.